Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews. You can find our band interviews and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I went to the Get Free tour, which is a co-headliner between Silverstein and Tonight Alive. I will be posting all of those in set order. So I posted the one for Picturesque yesterday night. I'll be posting Broadsides tonight, and so on and so forth, as well as the Adola tour. Same thing with that. Those will all be going in set list order as they appear on the tour, as well as I'll be doing, of course, this record and Secret's new self-titled record as well, and then hopefully some new ones to come out for this Friday as well. So if you enjoyed any of that, please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. I will actually be updating our merch store as well with some new designs, probably pretty close to my birthday, so I'm really excited about that. So tonight we're going to be getting into this new record on Victory Records by this band called We Were Sharks, and the album is called Lost Touch. So I've heard a lot about this band as of recently. Boys of Fall did a tour with them, and I unfortunately missed out because I really wanted to go to that one, but just things came up and I wasn't able to. As well as my good buddy George in Poeta, and just all my friends in Poeta, actually went on tour with them in Canada. And so I wanted to give this band a listen. They just signed with Victory Records not too long ago, and this is their debut record. So I wanted to give it a listen. I've been really itching for some good pop punk this year. So I feel like this one is a really great one to start off the year with. Just because, again, I'm going into it blind. I haven't really heard any songs from them prior to this. So for me, I love giving these sorts of albums a chance and kind of seeing if they grow on me. And if I'll find songs that I enjoy out of them. So I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on all of them. I'm going to go through some pros and cons of the record, and then I'm going to finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track is called Beyond Repair. This one, I love the vocals. That was something that really stuck out to me when I was listening to this record in general, but more specifically this track. It just kind of comes off right out the gate, and I really appreciate that. They almost have a little bit of grit to them, but at the same time, they just clean up very nicely. There's some awesome moments of harmonization throughout this record, and in this track as well. The chorus definitely feels like the strong point of the song. It was definitely something that, again, after listening to this record multiple times, I felt like that was the strongest point of the track to me, and it just hits really hard. I feel like the chorus structure on a lot of these tracks are really, really solid, and it's definitely something synonymous with pop punk. I feel like the leads in the guitar, from the guitar, just add this really awesome depth to the track and just complement the vocals in a really nice way. Again, even the harmonizations as well. The drums were really punchy, and I think that kind of transcends, again, the rest of this record as well. And it just cuts very nicely. And I feel like, to me, it's a really good intro to this band. Again, I really hadn't listened to him prior to doing this review, so I felt like it was a good way to start off this record. So we're going to move into track number 2, which is Drop the Act. I like that this one kind of brings a bounciness to this track, and it adds a nice addition to the intro of this track. I don't really feel like it carries over into the verses, the choruses, things of that nature, but definitely in that intro I feel like they really kind of captured that as well. And to me, it has this sort of nostalgic pop punk sort of vibe to it, things that I grew up listening to, like Yellow Card. I'm trying to think of other bands that, so I'm not looking like an idiot. All Time Low, even though they're really not, I guess, pop punk, I know that they have like pop rock influence, and I could hear that as well. But those sorts of bands, I felt like, kind of struck a chord with me, especially in this sort of track, which honestly I haven't heard in a long time, so that's really neat. I really love the bridge in this track. I feel like it changes up the song, but I feel like the rest of the track really compares very well, but in my opinion, I feel like the bridge is definitely something that just kind of sold this track for me. So we're going to move into track number 3, which is Hotel Beds. The intro riff reminds me a lot of 4 Years Strong, which is amazing because they're one of my favorite bands. The chorus is so catchy. It's definitely the best part of the song, and for me, every time I get to Hotel Beds, I wound up singing that melody. It just is so infectious, and it's something that just again sticks out in this track. It's easily one of the best tracks off the record. I think even going through it multiple times, I feel like this one was one that just stuck out to me, and just lyrically, it kind of spoke to me as well too. So that was awesome. The structure, just the arrangement of the track, kind of evokes really awesome, great pop punk bands in the scene now, and that have been in the scene. So to me, loved Hotel Beds. Hotel Books is a band. Hotel Beds. I think this one was a really, really, really solid track. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Ashley. This one is, I wouldn't even consider it an interlude because I mean, it kind of is in a sense, but at the same time, it's not. It's very fast paced. Very pop punk. Undoubtedly, totally unexpected. On this record, it was one that when I was listening to it, I thought it was kind of like a longer version of Stay, and then you get that abrupt cut, and then it kind of goes into Stay. So I thought it was just a part of Stay this whole time, and it actually wasn't. It's a short but sweet track, but I love the energy that it brings. Again, it was totally unexpected, but I think it works out very well in the way that it's added into this album. So we're gonna move into track number 5, which is Stay. This one, much like Hotel Books, is one of my favorites. It's just so well crafted. Again, the melodies just work super well on this one, and it has just that element of catchiness that I assume from some of my favorite songs. It just has that catchy bug to it, and I love it. I found myself just going back to this track, much like Hotel Beds. I felt like those two were two of the tracks that I felt like I was just going back to when I was listening to the record. I like that the bridge kind of took a softer route. It was a nice change of pace to it, and just I think of just the vocal melodies and the vocals. I think they just complement each other so well, along with the instrumentals. They just balance each other out in a really awesome way, and definitely Hotel Books and Stay so far are the best tracks off the record. Period. So we're gonna move it into track number 6, which is Late Bloomer, and this features Ollie Baxter of Broadside. This one, I kind of got some A Day to Remember vibes, especially the more pop punk side to their music, obviously. I felt like Ollie was a nice addition to the track. I feel like his vocals definitely differentiate in terms of the vocalists of We Were Sharks. I feel like they counterbalance each other very well. And I also like that he had a pretty big feature in the track. It wasn't kind of like, one line or kind of like a part in a chorus or something like that. He has one part from the minute and 5 second mark to about the minute and 20 second mark, and then he also comes back at the 2 minutes and 17 second mark to the 2 minutes and 40 second mark. I felt like those parts were really spread out very nicely, and it kind of shows the range of Ollie, but also kind of shows how well they chose this track to balance out with him. I think it would have been really cool to see him maybe on like Stay or like Hotel Beds. I feel like those songs may have worked out pretty well too. But I do like the addition on this track. So we're going to move into track number 7, which is Sober. This one brings back that sort of bouncy, fun vibes that I am associating with pop punk. It really has that pop punk vibe to it. And it definitely reminds me a lot of summer. Just like, sun's out, your windows down, you're cranking the music up. I feel like to me that this track is just kind of synonymous with that sort of summer, and that just makes me want spring more at this point. But I feel like this one definitely highlights more of the vocalist skill and kind of range. I feel like he went different, on a different style on this one, and it just works out. There's this really awesome guitar solo between the 1 minute and 40 second mark to the 1 minute and 50 second mark, and I like the bridge. I feel like it really differentiates the song from other songs off this record because it combines the sort of claps and group vocals in this track in a really nice way. Again, it was kind of unexpected, but I feel like after a few listens, it was one song that, oh, I know this is Sober. I know where I'm at on the record. So definitely one of my favorite tracks off this album so far too, along with Hotel Beds and Stay. Sorry, it's like super late and I'm slurring my words. So let's go on to track number 8, which is Never Look Back. This one is definitely pulling for more modern pop punk. I would say definitely along the lines of kind of like Real Friends, State Champs, things of that nature. I feel like it definitely pulls influence from that sort of style. This one also feels more vocal centric. The instrumentals are solid, but I feel like they don't, hit their stride until about the second half of the song. There's this really awesome key change that definitely make this song unique. I don't think it's one of the better tracks off the record. I think it's a solid track. I don't think it's a bad track, but the key change definitely made it interesting. And again, it's one of those tracks that when you're listening to the record, oh, this is Never Look Back. So that's cool. So we'll move it into track number 9, which is July. This one starts off with vocals and guitar, and then kind of kicks in after that. The leads in the chorus really stick out to me a lot from the guitar standpoint. I feel like they really accentuate the vocals. They really bring out a lot of the interesting qualities about this track. Another really catchy track, in my opinion, as well. The instruments and the vocals really complement each other well, and the harmonization is just on point on this track. Probably some of my favorite harmonies that they've done so far on this record. It's definitely a favorite of mine as well, and definitely a solid way to kind of round out their latter half of the album. So we're gonna move into track number 10, the last track, Always You. This one is very odd, and it's one that, again, I was not expecting. Much like Ashley, this one just works out super well as well. It's catchy, and I like the risk they took on this one. It has a different vibe to it. It has almost more of a like rock vibe to it, which is really cool. It does have some, it obviously pays homage to pop punk as well. But it doesn't really kind of fit that pop punk mold, and I really enjoyed this one. It's kind of the black sheep of the record, and the chorus is super infectious. I think that is one of the best choruses off the entire record for sure. And the inclusion of piano in the bridge was really nice as well. And I felt like the vocalist took the most risk on this track, and which is great because it's the last track on the record. You hope that he takes some risk, and I felt like he did in a few songs, but more specifically in this one, I felt like he took the most risk. And I feel like it's a great closer track. Definitely a favorite of mine as well to add to the list. Some pros and cons. I felt like some songs kind of just didn't hit me as much as I thought they would. Maybe like Never Looked Back. Probably Drop the Act was interesting as well, but I felt like it wasn't kind of on par to the ones that I thought were my favorite. But nonetheless, they weren't bad. I just felt like they just didn't grab me as much as those tracks did. But I feel like this band is an up and coming band. They put a really solid first album. I feel like a lot of bands, are kind of trying to find their sound and figuring out what they want to do. And I felt like with this record, they took enough risk. More specifically, probably in the last track, Always You, they really kind of put all the eggs in one basket in that one. But for the rest of them, they kind of kept to their roots, and I love that. And I feel like they wrote some really catchy tracks, some really awesome choruses, and I'd love to see what they do next. I feel like this one is a really great pop punk band that is pretty obscure in terms of popularity, so I would love to see these guys get a lot bigger. And move on to a lot better things. I think that this was a phenomenal record from them, and I'd love to see and hear more from them in the future. So my overall rating for We Were Sharks Lost Touch, I'm going to be giving it a 9.4 out of 10. I think it's one that I'd highly recommend checking out. It's really solid. Some of my favorite tracks, like I've been mentioning a lot in this review, is Hotel Beds, Stay, Sober, and July, and Always You. I'd probably say those are my top favorite tracks off the record. Let me know in the comments what your favorites are. It's been out for a couple days. Please go pick it up. Go support these guys. I am excited to go pick this record up as soon as possible. I would love to own this because I think it's a really phenomenal record, and I'm so glad that I got the chance to check it out and kind of take a risk on this one. So again, let me know in the comments what you thought about this record. If you're excited for the Secrets review as well, I'm excited to share my thoughts on that as well. And if you enjoyed any of the content that I mentioned earlier, or if you enjoyed this review, please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. It really does go a long way thank you guys for your immense support. I know I say it a lot. I know I say it in every album review, but it does mean the absolute world to me. If you thought this reveal was good, please share this video. It really does go a long way, and helps me get my name out there. So thank you guys so much for your support. Plenty of awesome stuff coming down the pipeline, and I can't wait to share it with you. So my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.